Hello there, Pastafarians. It's me, Schizophrenic Mitch. Welcome to our weekly service. This is the job that I do as a licensed minestrone in the cult of the Pastafarians, and I am here to do my job. Meridian Hides is here. Happy Friday. He says, Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome again to another end-of-week celebration that we have here at our weekly worship services. I was not able to do a stream yesterday as it was a holiday here where I live. A national holiday, though it has heavily religious roots. And so another thing is, though, you know, the internet is really bad when there's people around. You know, because of how we share the internet up here through like a tiny little pipe. It's a nightmare. Let me know if the bling blongs are too loud. We're using, of course, bling blongs so we don't get fucked for having copyrighted material. We're taking ourselves very, very seriously now here at Safe Word Studios because the time's come. We've seen too much silliness and nonsense going on. People who are learning how to delude themselves and becoming very, very good at it, and not exempting themselves from the discourse, like bringing delusion to places where it shouldn't be. Anyway, here at Savewood Studios, we are, well, among other things, working very, very hard to bring forward the efforts of the Pastafarian cult here. The efforts of truth. And so, as part of that, and as part of my, like I said, ordination to the cult of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, I like to worship and then invoke the creator of all, the Flying Spaghetti Monster, once a week, just to prove to those people who call us fake religions that no, we're not a fake religion, we're a fucking badass religion. We got some fucking solutions to the problems that you bastards don't have. And, you know, I'm want to sort of, to rant a bit here, but I've got to keep it short. Ibasala, my apologies. Thank you, Mitch. Happy holidays. Happy holiday! And happy Friday, and, yes, welcome to the show here. So, I've taken my prescription medications. Usually I take them on stream, but we've been so serious here of late that I've been doing it before now, and I've been marking it down on a calendar. It's very strange. But, yeah. So, just a heads up what we're going to do here. I worship truth, so I'm going to worship truth a little bit. And then after we're done with the worship services, I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to invoke, like I said before, the creator of all. And in between that, I'm going to remind you that we have a Patreon and all those other sort of YouTube-y, businessy things. And I'm going to try as hard as I can to sort of like focus on the task at hand, even though, you know, there's so much to distract me here in the studio. But, so, as I say, I like to worship truth. Some people contend that a human is made to worship, and that might be true. I really don't care. If we are going to worship, what ought we worship? That is our choice, I believe. And what we choose to worship says as much about us as anything can, I think. And so, yeah, I myself feel very safe worshipping truth. I don't think it can bite me in the arse quite much, unless we as a society punish people who worship truth. Like, then it might fuck me up. But that would be weird, wouldn't it? Like, surely that's not gonna happen. Happy Friday. Should we all, continues Ibasler. I think that's close-ish. Should we all worship truth, sir? If we worship the truth, would we all be loving each other? I don't know. I don't know about should, eh? Well, no, I kind of do. You should make sure you're not worshipping something dangerous. You should do that, right? Should you also believe that that truth is worthy of your worship? I don't know. I don't know, because like, I don't know, maybe some people can get addicted to it, and fucking, it's just as bad as in their hands as like other things. I don't know if it can be taken crazy. I think it's safe enough for me. And I'm not saying it's the only thing either that's worthy of it. If you find something else, I'd love to read that essay. That sounds great. But yeah, so in order to scratch my sort of worship addiction, my itch, I've decided I shall worship truth. And you know, truth is sort of under attack, I guess, at the moment, or people are putting forward the idea that truth is subjective. Anyway, I have a daily show that we like to talk about that. We like to have the conversation over there. So, yeah, if you know anyone, or if you were like hanging out with them recently during like a Thanksgiving dinner or something, and you'd like to talk about the weird, strange things they says, please do drop me a line. Like, it is a strange puzzle. I've been ruminating about it again today. Just what a strange fucking bullshit game this is, and how unbelievably powerful these bad faith actors are. These really bad faith agents. They are not. They're playing the game really bad. And I know I like to fucking talk about Kanye a lot, but he's just really bad at this game. Fake news is becoming more ridiculous. Yeah, the absurdity of the things that we allow to convince us, or that we're willing to like get behind, seems to be growing, right? Like, we believe that the stories are getting crazier and crazier, and so we share the stories that are crazier and crazier. That, like, you know, like that thing about well, anyway, I was going to tell some jokes. Don't worry about that. It's not time for jokes. No more jokes. This is the serious time. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get our voices heard and be like, we really trust rationality here. Although that we are like emotional beings and spiritual beings, it is a dangerous communicator that tries to convince you of things on an emotional level. We're playing a dangerous game. And if you like playing dangerous games, that's cool. I was watching the other day on the internet, where you can watch everything in the world. I was watching this guy go down a mountain for fucking 40 minutes in a race with like 1,000 other people, and it was white knuckle the whole time. I was nearly shitting myself. So yeah, you know, I was looking at this guy, and I respected him quite immensely. He was obviously working twice as hard as the people around him for a long time, until it sort of caught up to him. And had to ease off at the end, but also, you know, I can acknowledge that he's an insane person and he's playing a very, very dangerous game, and that a lot of people broke a lot of bones on that hill that day. And you know, it's kind of like, okay, but you're weird for loving that, right? I heard the other day that, or I guess it was today, that a rock climber died, like one of the world class rock climbers died, and so you know, hopefully it's kind to say doing what he loved, right? Hopefully that's a nice thing to say, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's like maybe it's distasteful, like live by the sword, die by the sword. It's like, oh well, that's shitty. It's a shitty thing to say about him, but I don't know. But what I'm saying is, all you got to do is confess that the game you like to play is dangerous, and that's much safer. And so here we are, hanging out with all these people who are playing this crazy dangerous game, and all I want them to do is confess fucking how crazy and dangerous it is. And you know, nobody's coming on my daily show to talk about it. But so this next week is going to be really busy, so I'm not sure how many daily shows I'm going to have this week. So I'm going to spend a lot of my off time getting guests, I think. I'm going to work on that. Because there's a lot of people in Denver, where I live, who are like involved in the internet conversation, you know. So I'd like to go interview them and see what they think. So maybe I'll get on that. No promises. You know, I can't see the future. Agreed. The truth is as absurd as fiction these days. Hard to tell what's what anymore. Yeah, I agree. Like, I was thinking about people who sort of tell the weirdest story they can, you know, and they're like exaggerating just to be weird. And it's like, you know, the truth is weird enough for me, right? It is exceptionally weird and enjoyable on a weirdness level. It's kind of like people who are like definitely sure there's ghosts or whatever. It's like I don't care one way or another. Like, I'm not in it for them to be here. I'm not in it for them not, right? Neither one is a more romantic option to me. I just want to. The truth is weird enough, right? I don't need to be like, well, you know, it's got to be there's ghosts. Otherwise, this world isn't really weird enough for me. No, this place is real fucking weird. It's really weird because the President of the United States talks about God all the fucking time. Like, how crazy is that? Like, we're the secularist government at the time, weren't we? Like, when it happened, we were like the most non-religious sort of like, we were not saying that the power to tell people what to do comes from who God wants, but the people themselves. No one can tell the people what to do but the people. Wasn't that what we were doing? Like, getting away from this authoritarian bullshit? I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't really read the books, and the books I read were the fucking California books, eh? So they were one-sided, fair and balanced. Meridian Heights would like to die doing something he enjoys. I'd like to get struck dead by lightning sitting in a hot tub at my AV nudist resort. It's going to be hard to do in a hot tub. In order to get hit by lightning, you need a very wide sort of plane of water. The point is, it's not that you're wet, it's that you're the highest point around. And so if it's like a hot tub with trees around, I think you're fine. But, you know, listen to the fireman about that, not your fucking guru about lightning safety in water ponds. That's not a thing you should listen to your guru about. Just to be clear. Oh my fucking Christ! Speaking of shit on Netflix, which is a thing from another show we do, which is cancelled right now because Joe hates us and she trusts the real world, and she's like, "Give me money, Mr. Capitalism." Anyway, what was I talking about? Never mind. Oh, shit on Netflix. That's what I was talking about. I recall. I watched this shit on Netflix about this dude, this yogi, this guru, who taught yoga, and his name was Bikram. And you know, now that I think about it, coincidentally, the show was called Bikram. Huh? That's odd. Anyway, it details his exploits of being a disgusting grifter and predator, sexual predator. And I took a lot of notes, and so we're going to be doing a lot of changes around here. First of all, everyone needs to be wearing a lot less, and we're going to turn on the temperature, and I get fucking AC up on my throne. And I've got to tuck my dick back or something. I've got to do some real weird shit with my dick. Anyway, I'll be watching it again and again and again, taking notes on how to be a good guru. No, sorry to be morbid, ladies and gentlemen. But it is a disgusting story about a disgusting human who has yet to come to justice. What a strange world we have. What a inability to effect justice we have. It eludes us still. Hey, even after all these years of attempts, man, we really can't figure out how to do it. Anyway, the worship part is over, so I no longer have to worship truth. Though I tend to in all of my moments. Deep in my heart, there's always just, you know, a bit of worship going on. I wish I could stop it, but the addiction runs so deep. From a very, very young age. And now I will move on to the next section, which is arguably the very, very cringy and embarrassing section. The part where I invoke the creator of reality. The part where I make Too much space fit in not enough reality. Too much matter fit in not enough space or time. For Flying Spaghetti Monster is all, and all that can be, and all that ever will be. He's imagined all of reality, and all of the realities. For Flying Spaghetti Monster is the culmination of all things. He is what decided is true. Eh? And so, in a way that's totally impossible, I'm going to ask him to please come into our lives, and touch us in our hearts. And prove to us that the efforts that we're doing to create a good and happy world are, you know, he agrees that they are good and happy. And I will do that momentarily, after I drink a little bit of my delicious, very cherry cola. And right before this, I'm going to pass around in a very normal manner, in a very regular way, metaphorically pass around the hat that, you know, you can put money in and pay me for this service here. Because that's what this game is all about, and if you don't believe me, go check out the game that fucking Osteen is playing, because that's the game I'm playing. And while I may be bad at the part of it where I make a ton of money, I don't think I am bad at the part of it where I make you re-examine your fucking life and determine whether you're doing good things in your fucking life every day. Every week I can fucking point a mirror at you and be like, but what about you, you piece of shit? What are you doing to change this planet? Because I'm up here screaming like a crazy person. I'm sure it's not effective, but what do you got that's better? I can do that every week. Is Osteen doing that? No, but you know what he's good at, and you know what he never misses? This part right here, where I point you at Patreon, and I thank everyone over at Patreon for bringing you this week's Pastafarian worship service and invocation, November the 19th. Happy holiday. That's the title of this one. Alright, business time, I've got to do it. This is the part where you're like, no, I'll prove it. I'll prove it's true. Because you go listen to fucking crazy old schizophrenic Mitch. He's going to do something that we all have decided and agreed upon is crazy. And then you'll be like, but it's not crazy if you feel it. And then you're going to feel it and be like, oh shit, I'm crazy now. I'm a Pastafarian. So prepare, you know. Maybe get the letters ready. And be like, hey, this is the last moment that I wasn't a Pastafarian, and so if I lose you to this, I'll miss you, but, you know, I totally get it. Because, you know, I've lost a lot of people in my life. When I found the truth, that was a surprise. They kick you out of the village if you learn the truth. That's sort of like one of the best things that the Sixth Sense guy taught us. Shyamalan. I know his name. His name is M. Night Shyamalan. That's how you say it. I know how to say it. Meridian Heights says, I'm out of money, but a shroom harvest is coming soon. Oh, no, Meridian Heights. No. You are one of our benefactors. You have been over there to the Patronium's page and benefited. And how grateful what we are. What a kind gesture that was. I'm just, you know, reminding everyone else that this is a totally normal thing that happens. Where it's really normal to give me money. And when we get enough money, we're going to give it to a lawyer so that he can make it tax deductible. Or we're going to forget to do that and like spend it on art supplies or something, like signs. Maybe a camera. I don't know. Like I said before, it is very, very hard to see the future. And although I can see that the sea will rise 4 feet before we get a handle on this. Oh, speaking of which, Country City was talking to me the other day, our good friend, and he was saying that this YouTube channel is going to get cancelled between the dates of December 20th and January 1st of these next days. So, Country City has attempted to prophesy, and so now we get to see if he really can see the future, so that's exciting. Exciting to see these people be able to, you know, risk a lot. So, like I did, right there, when I said 4 feet. That's a number, isn't it? And we get to see. But a shroom harvest is coming soon. Oh, hi, Joe. I heard I have a little thing here that I dress as Joe and poke and make say.
Hi, Rudian.
She's drawing for me, so don't distract her. I showed her that video of us doing the thumbnail, and she cried. She cried and she said, "Why? Why would you do this?"
I thought it was cute.
But I did ask her to do that. She's very focused on that. Also, she doesn't like this part where I get all fucking religious. She says, "Leave me out of it." Anyway, back to business. Back to the real life. Back to reality. Back from an endless dream. Is that right? Something like that. However you want me. You know that one? Anyway, back to, like, you know, the creator of all things. You know, Flying Spaghetti Monster. Alright. Oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster! You've got to speak loud, for often he's distant.
Drunk.
And drunk. Especially this late on a Friday. We're going very, very late. Come on by, we've got to talk! Oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster, imaginer of all things, and creator of dreams, and dreamers of the dreams, and givers of the schnozberries. We come before thee as apes, I guess, as it were, attempting to understand this reality in which we find ourselves, yet ill-equipped to do it. We acknowledge that we have our foibles and our inabilities to compete with perfection, but we appreciate the gift of free will and the trust you gave us as moral agents in this great experiment of life on this planet. And we do pledge now to be very good and trustworthy stewards of these things, these moments we find ourselves in. And oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster, we again remind you of the restraining order that you keep forgetting about, showing up in our lives as random coincidences, but can't be random, can they? Must be some secret, benevolent force creating greatness in our lives, and we ask you again to fuck off. We've got it. Please allow us to do it ourselves. If you keep fucking with the numbers, we'll never be able to see the truth. For, again, it is only through truth that we will be able to be clear in our vision of the future, to see through our optical illusions. The difficulty we have with confirmation bias, and the trust we have maybe for those who haven't earned it, and our inability to tell the difference. Difficult to walk around in these ape bodies with these juicy minds of sort of weirdness and blood and guts made bodies. Very difficult to achieve those things which you are requiring of us to be good and perfect moral agents. So please help us in our journey toward that. Please help us face the future, with no fear, with the trust in our ability to move forward with the best pace we can muster. Please do help us create for our children the heaven that we could imagine when we were children. Create for the next generation the things that we would change for the younger selves. Please help us continue iterating this reality such that we can promise more and more to the participants of this endless experiment. We say these things, Flying Spaghetti Monster, in the name of truth, and in the name of love, and in the name of Flying Spaghetti Monster. Ramen. Now, Pastafarians, the things you've been witnessing have been my own personal rituals. They're a thing that I have decided to do, and they're in my custody, and I change them as I will. But I do not prescribe them. You have just witnessed mine, and I do hope that yours are different. I hope you have rituals that you are in control of, that you use to control the very addictive nature that we find ourselves having. You might need time and space, and it's now. Well, Pastafarians, I'm very grateful for the time that you spent with us today. Very grateful for inviting me and my silliness into your weekly rituals and services, and I do intend to continue this out for quite some time. I don't see any reason to rest on the laurels of the argument, as it seems like the argument has been very and completely ignored. So I think the point here is to not make the argument well, but make the argument loudly and consistently and without end. So, you know, that's what I intend to do with all of my hobby space. Except for some video game space. You know. A lot of shit is changing right now, trying to get move Safe Studios down into the sort of city center, as it were, on the bus lines, much closer to all of the people. I'll be able to make a lot more videos where I'm talking to people in the streets. So yeah, we're working on that, but that means a lot of missed shows in the next few weeks, a lot of them. But I think we'll be able to do much better things in the new year. Very excited. So yeah, do hang out with us. Until then, thank you very much, Pastafarians, for joining us today. Happy holiday, and a very happy Friday. I have here half a bottle of Wild Turkey 101 Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, and yeah, so I'll see you guys in a couple hours in the toilet. When you're puking, I'll be right there with you.
Bye.
Bye, Pastafarians. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.